Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to another Friday. Pat yourself on the back. This is Pickup Lines, the talk show in a car. And we had to find some shade today because there's not a cloud in the sky. But that's not a bad thing. As we round out the month of February here, this is Pickup Lines. And we're not in a bus today, but maybe we should have been, because this is Tremell Brown, the VIA Deputy Chief Executive Officer, one of the big wigs here. And thank you for your hospitality, because we're at one of your facilities here today.
Thank you, Ernie. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm good. I apologize in advance for sounding like an old retired jazz singer. My voice is returning. I had the same bug that the entire city had a couple of weeks ago, so.
There was something going around.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're on the mend and everything. And if we need you to sing jazz for us later, maybe you can do. I don't know. We'll see.
I'd be glad to do that.
We'll see. It is pretty remarkable as we sit here and look out and we can see I-10 and 410 and just, people passing by. I mean, transportation, public transportation is literally your life.
That's exactly right.
It has been for, 3.5 decades?
It's about almost 36 years, correct?
You were. I mean, not that you're an old man now, but you were a kid when you started at VIA.
I literally was barely legal. I started at the age of 21, and I began as a part-time bus operator, and then became a paratransit operator, became bilingual in those two modes of transportation, then just got promoted through the years.
Okay. Well, we'll kind of we'll play This Is Your Life in terms of VIA here in just a little bit, but in terms of what brought you, because you were not born in San Antonio, correct?
That is correct. I'm like many. I'm a military brat.
Yeah.
I was born in Sacramento, California. My father was in the Air Force. I got stationed here when I was a child. What
are your earliest memories of coming to San Antonio and kind of first impressions of this place? And did you ever think that you would spend this much time in the 210?
Great questions. First impression, love the weather, love the atmosphere, love the food. I got to learn what a crispy dog was at a very young age, and that's important if you're a San Antonio citizen. I learned that the community is as warm as the weather, lots of great people, very communal, family-driven, no matter what part of town you're on, and it's still the same. I like it.
So you said you started as a part-time bus driver, but when you were starting, this was not like your intention, your grand plan was not to get a job at VIA and work your way up the corporate ladder, correct?
That is absolutely right. Like many in life, road turns and leads you in other directions.
Yeah.
And for me, I still look back and cannot believe where I sit today versus where I sat when I began. So I did not plan for this at all.
So essentially, if you were to break down the hierarchy or the leadership at VIA, John Gary Herrera is the newly named CEO.
Correct.
You are right under him.
That's correct.
You're like the vice president, the number 2.
Yes, that's correct.
The first runner-up, whatever that means. But I mean, that's how much pride is there, because you literally have worked your way up from about as low as you can be at VIA, right, all the way up to nearly the tippy top.
There's a lot of pride. I've been blessed and fortunate to be surrounded by and encounter a lot of great minds, a lot of great thinkers,
right?
A lot of great people at VIA that all have the same thing in common, and that's just to give back and help and assist the community. And so I've just continued to just work and grow and continue to be thankful for the blessings that have happened along the way.
Wasn't it a friend of yours that told you about VIA when they were hiring, when you were looking for a job? And I don't know where this friend is now, but you probably had that person to thank for all your success.
Definitely. It's hard to believe. People who know me know. I used to play sports and I used to trash talk, and that's how it began. A friend of mine at a place I worked at before VIA had come in his bus operator uniform. He looked very proud, a little bit of a braggart because he was making great money, great benefits, and I made a wisecrack and was on vacation 2 weeks later and decided to apply. The rest is history.
When's the last time you drove a VIA bus?
About 35 days ago. I still have
really?
my CDL. Yes.
Okay. I was expecting you to say like 20 years ago, but so you could still do it. If pressed into service, you could still do it.
I could drive right now. We may have to clear the streets and make sure it's still safe, but I am legal to still drive.
Have a police escort and everything. So in your current capacity, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, how do you explain in layman's terms what a typical day or what do you do at VIA?
For me, in the area of my purview, it's mostly deal with operations,
Yeah.
and things that deal with customer service and service delivery, over maintenance, over operations, trans police, safety, and things of that nature. And we split those responsibilities with the chief administration officer and some SVPs. But a typical day for me, a lot of problem solving, connecting with staff. I really enjoy meeting kind of face to face.
Yeah.
Just kind of find out. Still encounter a lot of operators and people at every level, but I'm kind of a little bit of a Q&A person, morale person, and just making sure we're covering the gap. So I'm kind of the behind the scenes person that just consent to do the work, make sure we get things done.
So 35 years. How do you encapsulate, or in a few words, describe the transition, the growth, the changes, the evolution of public transportation, especially as it relates to VIA?
That's a phenomenal question. One thing still remains the same. That regardless, excuse me,
Yeah.
regardless of what decade that you're in, everyone still needs to move. They still need to get where they're going. They still need to make life connections, educational opportunities, economic development, and just get where they're going. And so some of the changes that have happened, technology has been a great benefit to the customer experience. They actually get a chance to use Wi-Fi. 100% Wi-Fi. We're the first agency in the entire country
Right.
have a full fleet. So to watch the way technologies come in for security, care and comfort situations, like air conditioning and solar lighting at some of our bus stop facilities, it's just been a great win for the customer. So I think that's the biggest benefit.
But in 1990, they had predicted by now we would have flying cars and stuff like that, right?
They actually did. And, maybe they're only off by about 20 years, but, it doesn't hurt to dream.
Yeah. What do you most enjoy about what you do for VIA, even after 35 years?
I still get to talk to the customers and the people and the people who help the people. And that's a very big thing for me. I'm not one of those that sits at my desk much. When I'm not in meetings, I'm moving around to different departments, different areas, and just kind of temperature check and make sure everyone's still fun and engaged and still on task with creating the best thing for our customers.
You're very community-minded as well, which we'll get to in just a minute, because quite literally in his right hand, he's got something to show off, which I think will be pretty easily recognizable. But there's a lot of talk about development in downtown and different lines that are in the works and everything, and how VIA will evolve in the next decade or two. How much of an active role are you playing in those kinds of things?
I tell you, definitely involved.
Yeah.
It's great, for our entire community to invite everyone to sit at the table and have an idea and a concept to contribute. The one thing that I think is a nexus between all of those involved with the development of downtown is people still have to move to and fro. And so for us to be able to be in those conversations and just kind of reimagine the way that people move is a phenomenal opportunity.
Very good. Okay. Well, I know you're very proud of all the work that you do in the community, as if you're not busy enough already at VIA. By the way, we're talking with Tremell Brown here, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer at VIA Metropolitan Transit. And so if you would like to hold up what you have in your hand, I think it's going to be pretty recognizable. As a matter of fact, I was in New Orleans not too long ago. Well, put it on.
I'll put them on.
And I don't want to know what you did to get those beads.
Just hard work and eating a lot of vegetables.
Good answer. We'll go with that. You're very active in the San Antonio Zulu Association, which, the Taste of New Orleans is right around the corner, and Fiesta at my house would not be Fiesta without a trip to Sunken Garden and Taste of New Orleans.
Man, we're glad to hear that. And yes, you're correct. I'm a proud Zulu member.
Yeah.
And have been for nearly a decade. And I'm the marketing chairman. And so one of the things that we enjoy is to mix a great way of having great food and great experience with a great giving back experience. And so we appreciate all the community does to help us support and help our scholarship programs and community initiatives.
Pie tin shrimp is my favorite. I don't know. Do you have a favorite? The shrimp you get in the little aluminum pie tin with French fries and everything?
There is a lot of favorites out there. I think one of the ones that I do is a little bit of a hybrid. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say as much as I love food. Even my license plate says étouffée on it. But I am a fan of andouille sausage on dirty rice with étouffée gravy on top. That's my go-to.
I have to try that this time. I have to try that. If the jacket may not fit as good, but I'm going to have to try that here in just a little while. What, so we just talked a minute ago about long-term plans for VIA and everything, but in the short term, as you sit out here again and look at, a chunk of the city here in front of us, what's kind of on your desk right now?
Right now, all things in support of the Green Line, which is going to connect the north and south of the entire region in new ways. And it'll give our customers a chance to connect in a more frequent, rapid service. They can wait less. They can get more done in a comfortable environment, brand new vehicle. There's just kind of a convergence of technology and meeting the needs of the community that's going to happen in the city in a brand new way. So it's a big project the entire organization is involved in.
So if I'm looking at a map of San Antonio, you talked about like north to south. Is this going to be like along which thoroughfare will the Green Line be on?
What people would recognize is traveling down from the airport North Star Mall region, traveling south all the way through the downtown area and going further south out St. Mary's, Roosevelt, in that area, with an extension that goes all the way down to near Brook City Base.
Very good. Okay. How many buses and how many employees do you have? Are you on the boss of?
So, well, when we get into buses, our service revenue fleet, we're just over 500 buses. For employees as an organization, we're right at about 2,300 employees. The majority of our employees literally touch, face, and interact with the customers.
Right.
And they really do a great job of making the rest of us look good. There's a lot of strong and dedicated women and men that make it their purpose to make sure people make their connections, get where they're going. So we only shine because of them.
And we've got a Via Trans bus right in front of us because people, it's not just those giant mega buses that you see out and about at the stops. You've got Via Trans and some of the little smaller vehicles that you might see in residential neighborhoods picking up people and taking them wherever they need to go.
Absolutely. We've got more than one mode of transportation, so we're in it for the long haul.
We've got the website back here, Keep SA Moving. In a few more minutes here with Tremell Brown, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer at Via Metropolitan Transit. You guys are constantly hiring, right?
Yes, always looking for great people.
And I know you offer incentives and different types of ways to make it easier and more enticing, if you will, for somebody to... is there such thing as a great Via bus driver or a candidate?
There are. One of the things, part of our culture, is you'll often hear us refer to them as operators. Driving denotes just operating and driving that vehicle down the street. But the operator side of it is the customer service component. So to your point, anyone who appreciates that feeling of helping someone do better and likes to help and serve the community, we can teach you how to drive a bus. We can teach you how to become a mechanic. But that's a core skill that we look for.
Temperament.
Absolutely.
Even when the weather's not great or somebody might not be having a great day, you still got to remember.
You've got to have that special sauce. It's got to already be in you. So.
All right. How much longer do you have at Via? I would think you could retire pretty soon and go live a fantastic life.
I probably could. I would probably stick around until we have flying buses. It's probably.
So you got a little more time.
I got a little more ways to go.
Yeah. I don't know if people. I probably don't ride as often as I should, but every time I'm in one of the buses, I'm always. It's always an enjoyable experience, and they're always super clean. You talk about the Wi-Fi and everything, and I took one not too long ago. Just throughout the downtown area, and it's a pretty cool way to see parts of the city that you might not otherwise get to.
It's good. It still has the benefit that a lot of people we still hear. They remember at a young age that used to ride with their grandmother, their grandfather. A trip on the bus from one side of town to the next is an experience. You get to see a lot, learn a lot, see new developments you've not seen before, and it's all available for you right there for $1.30.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say affordable.
Very affordable.
Still $1.30.
Absolutely, and reliable, and we run all the time. So.
My goodness gracious! I know when we had Jeff Arndt was in here not too long ago, and I was doing some other talks with Via. The effort to reduce wait times is something that I know is high on your radar.
Yes, very much so. There's a sweet spot that all transit agencies work towards, and that's to demonstrate not only care and concern, but greater frequency, reliability.
Yeah.
And that moves people from being choice riders to people who want to find a new solution. Save on gas, save on resources, and just have a trip to work for once where you can actually be on your computer catching up and doing things or getting prepared for the rest of the day.
Amen. That, VIA's won a lot of. I don't know if a lot of people realize it's an award-winning, organization. You guys are constantly picking up awards, and I would think that other markets around the country are paying attention to what VIA does, especially as the city. I mean, San Antonio continues to grow and evolve.
We've got a lot of great team members that are experts, in their swim lane, and when they all come together and grow in their field and their discipline, we're just glad that they all have the same 3 letters on their paycheck. We're glad to be the VIA team, so it helps out a lot.
Did I hear, because I was singing that catchy 1980s VIA, It's So Easy When You Take the Bus, VIA. Did I hear the Buppets are coming back in 2025?
There's a story that will be told. If I was to release too much right now, I am certain I would not be alive.
Okay.
And so I do need to protect what is coming, but I can tell you, stay tuned.
I love it. Okay, well, I'm not getting anybody fired or hurt or anything like that here today. But for what it's worth, I'm a huge fan. So here's hoping that they come back. If you could go back to Tremell Brown in 1990 when a friend of yours was talking trash and, convinced you to come on to VIA, what do you remember about that guy and what would you tell him?
First, thanks. Second, he was right. It's a great place to work, lots of benefits. You can raise your family, go to school, a lot of things. It sounded sales pitchy back then.
Yeah.
But through these years, I've watched people who have their grandkids that are coming to work for us. So I would be thankful for that. But I think overall, it was the pride that he had in his uniform that he was wearing and kind of showing off as an operator. That pride still exists, and I hate to mention it. I still have my uniform from back then, my nameplate and everything else. Now, although my uniform shirt will probably only make it up to my elbow, I still keep it as if I had to go out and drive tomorrow. So there's a lot of pride, and I would be thankful, and I would tell him that today if I saw him.
That is one thing that I've heard just kind of unsolicited from people I've talked to in the VIA family. That there is a sense of pride from the bus operators all the way to the top, leadership. That seems to be a common thread.
I still think, and thank you for noticing that. Mm-hmm. I still think it's connected to, all of us are still interested in one basic thread that ties us all together, is that we just enjoy helping the people, helping the community. So if you're customer service driven or a customer evangelist where, you find most of your happiest experience include customers, it's a great place to be. And we're just like-minded folks.
Winding down here with Tremell Brown, I mean, I could keep him for another hour if I wanted to, because it's a fascinating conversation. And full disclosure, we've known each other for a little while, but I don't know that we've had a chance to sit down like this and really visit. So when you're not in the community or here at VIA or doing what do you like to do for fun?
I like to cook and I like to eat. I have a shorty Jack Russell Terrier named Ellington who thinks he's as tall as a giraffe. And so, if I'm working in the garden in the backyard or doing something else with the family, I really just like downtime, a chance to decompress. And it's, as I get older, it becomes more important.
I love it. Now, I can get with you on that. What's the last great thing that you cooked?
Crawfish etouffee. That was just about a week ago.
You didn't bring any.
No,
there's probably none left.
The next time I rattle pots and pans, you're getting a call.
Amen to that. Okay. Listen, I know you're a busy man. I mean, you and John Gary are quite literally running VIA, and I've been a fan for a long time. Appreciate everything that you're doing, and excited to see what the next decade plus, beyond that, has in store for VIA.
Thank you so much, Ernie. It's always a pleasure to interact with you, even if it's just passing in the streets or during Fiesta. But you're the genuine article. You're the real deal, and make time for something like this. All
right, and we'll make time at Taste of New Orleans. Was it the andouille sausage with the dirty rice and the gravy on top?
That's exactly right. It's the last weekend of April. Right. Best food in the business. So.
All right. I'll make plans. Always good to see you, sir. One more time, there's the website, keepsamoving.com. Of course, you can find VIA on your favorite social media platforms or online. But the website here, keepsamoving.com, which is quite literally what VIA Metropolitan Transit has been doing for decades. Thanks in large part to Tremell Brown. So always a pleasure, sir.
Always
good
a
to
pleasure.
see you.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, there you have it. Another episode of Pickup Lines. Have a fantastic, safe weekend. You never know who'll be sitting here in the car with me or what kind of stories we'll have to tell. So until next time, have a great day. I'm Ernie Zuniga. Bye for now.